Hi there, Passionistas. Welcome to the Passionista Nation Expertise. So happy to be here with you today. And we have an amazing guest, Stephanie, with us. Hi, Stephanie. She's a
Hi, to be
fellow
here.
Austinite here. And yes, just so excited to introduce you to her. So, the Passionista Nation Expert Interview Series is an opportunity for me to showcase our amazing members here in Passionista Nation. And we have so many experts that have so much value to give around, mindset tips and business strategies. And so I thought this would be a great way to showcase our experts by featuring an expert every other Monday. So that is something that I've incorporated. Gosh, now a couple years ago, I was just trying to think of how many we've done. We're at, I think, 56 episodes. And so it's just been so fun for me. Selfishly, I get to meet and really get to know these amazing women that are doing great things, although we had a man last week. So occasionally we'll have a man if they're heart-centered and passionate, just like us ladies. And so, today is no different. We have an amazing expert in Stephanie that she is going to be sharing some of her experience and expertise around being heart-centered in your business. And so the topic today is 8 principles to live by to attract your ideal clients. And it's kind of a continuation in terms of the theme from our last expert interview, because we did talk a lot about ideal clients and kind of where to find them. But this is going to go a little bit deeper around, who you need to be in order to attract the right people to you. So I'm really excited to dive into this juicy topic. Before we get started, I'm going to give you a little background about Stephanie and read her bio. I was just laughing with her. I have it like printed and it's like super small. So if you see me squinting, that my eyes are not as good as they used to be. So Stephanie Lucas is the founder and CEO of the Annuity Consultants, a boutique FMO she founded in 2010. TAC specializing in annuities, life insurance, disability, income, long-term care, and asset-based LTC. She is also the co-founder and CFO of a lifestyle brand called Spiritist. That's a crazy name. I love it. After almost 20 years in the insurance and financial sector, she grew frustrated by the lack of depth and egocentric business practices. And so out of her passion to change the industry from the inside out, she launched the Heart-Centered Planning Series, a series of guides and webinars that focus on the transformative value that mindfulness and meditation can have for your business and daily life. She holds a bachelor's degree in international business with a focus on leadership and management, with a dual degree in marketing from the Arizona State University. And she lives in her lovely home in Austin, Texas. And she has her spirit animal is a Cheshire cat. That is, love it. Stephanie, so glad to have you here today. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So great to be here. It's an honor.
So
Yeah.
Stephanie and I were introduced through a mutual friend, and we had a Zoom call a few months ago. And really, we just connected right off the bat. And she shared with me a little bit about her journey and what led her to the work that she's doing. And of course, I was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I love what you're up to. And you have to be part of the Passionista Nation group. And share what you learned. And so I would love to start off, Stephanie, by you sharing kind of a little bit about your story. So you were in the financial industry for many years, but I know you got to a point where you were, just kind of frustrated and not feeling fulfilled in your work. So can you talk a little bit about that and what kind of shifted for you and now is leading you to do this amazing work with your heart-centered planning?
Yeah, so great question. It's a very long story, so I'll try to summarize what happened. So I got into the industry while I was in college, just trying to figure out how can I pay for school, right?
Sure.
And I never ever thought I would be doing insurance and planning and retirement and income planning, that kind of stuff. I thought I would be managing bands and traveling the world, doing really cool.
Yep.
But I ended up really doing so well at it, and I had such a great experience learning the things that I did, and I just really excelled at what I was, learning and growing in. And so this industry provided me a lifestyle and an ability to pay for my school. So I got out of college with my, degree from a university without any debt because I was making such good money doing what I was doing. And not only that, I was learning things and being able to apply what I was learning in school. So it ended up being a really amazing opportunity. So I realized that this was very much a passion for me, and I wanted to continue on and grow in the industry. And so I worked for multiple organizations in all areas of the business. And in 2010, I got to the point where I had done everything I could in all of these organizations. And I was like, I could just run my own business. And also, everybody called them a marketing organization, but they weren't doing anything to help the agents and advisors that we
Mm.
worked with grow their business, to really do anything. And so I was just like, I don't want to keep on just, making money. I want to actually help. I want to do more. And I felt like this is an opportunity. If I start my own business, I can do that. So in 2010, I started my company, and I was making more money than I had ever made. I was doing so much better than I could have possibly imagined. But also, I ended up being very much an alcoholic and
Mm.
doing things that I I didn't realize how much it was impacting me, my health, everything. And and I was making the most money I was making ever, but I was the most miserable I had ever been. I really didn't care for myself. I didn't really, I felt like I needed a change, and I didn't know how to make that change. And finally, several years into owning my business, I got sober. And when I went through that whole process of sobriety, it made me realize that it's not about the money. It's not about making all of this and having all of these things.
Mhm.
And I started really getting into meditation and exercising and eating healthy and doing all these things to nourish my body. And when I started taking care of myself better, I realized that I was working with people that I really didn't enjoy working with either, that I really was
Mm.
everything for money. And it didn't feel good. It didn't
Yeah.
feel good in any way. I was completely out of balance. And when I started bringing myself in, centering my own self, I
Mhm.
realized that there's a different kind of client that I want to be working with. And I needed to figure out, how do I attract that person? And how do I, help them? Because they're the people that I really want to help grow and, promote them, because they're the kind of people that I want to be, you know? So,
Yes.
yes.
I love that. Thank you, Steph, for sharing that, and thank you for being so open and vulnerable
Yeah.
with your struggle of alcoholism. That's something that I personally experienced through not myself, but through my first husband was an alcoholic, and I
Mm.
know how tough it is to get past that. So um, congratulations on
Thank
conquering alcohol
you.
and
Yes.
alcoholism, because that's huge. But and really just realizing that there's more to life than making a substantial income. Yes, that's great, and that can help you do a lot of amazing things in your life, but that can't be what it's all about. And
Right.
so I love how just your journey has evolved to this amazing place of really knowing how important it is to get centered with yourself and to really get healthy from the inside out, and then
Yeah.
how you can really align your life and your business and everything and the people in your life to that. So you and I, when we first met, we talked a lot about being your own ideal client. And so
Yes.
I love this thought, and that's like exactly where you are, where in myself too, like we're walking the talk, and we're doing the things that we're encouraging other people to do. So when we talk about being your own ideal client, what does that mean exactly for you?
Yeah. So for me, because of the industry I'm in, and what I preach is, financial freedom and
Mhm.
really looking at how you consume, being, I call it like a conscious or spiritual consumer, or spiritual or conscious capitalism, if you will. Really being aware of the things that you're purchasing. So for me, it's important to eat organic, to eat local, to have products that I put on my body that are, vegan, cruelty free, organic products. And, when I'm doing any kind of projects around my house, I try to be as, eco friendly as possible. So
Mhm.
being that person, and also following everything that I would tell one of the people that I work with. Say like an agent or advisor comes to me and they've got a client that they're planning for, and they're doing retirement and income planning. Well, anything that I recommend, I myself own. I have
Mm.
done this for, right? I believe in being debt free, and I believe in, all these things, that I constantly am trying to help people with. And really, you know thinking about the things that you're doing, is it friendly to the planet? Is it good for your body? Is it, so that's who I am and who I want to be, and those are the clients that I want to attract. So it's literally embodying what you talk about on a daily basis. Yeah.
My friend, is integrity, right? And that's
Yes.
that's like my number one core value. So
Yeah.
that's probably why we got along so well.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people, will talk a good game, but they're not actually living that life, or what they're saying. So that's um, it's unfortunately rare to find someone who actually is living the life that they are, helping other people live. So that led to your um, heart centered. Talk a little bit about what is heart centered planning and how did that come?
Yeah. So heart-centered planning is something that came to me when I was traveling in Bali in 2019. So
Okay.
I'm an avid traveler. I absolutely love experiencing other cultures and, food and all the things that go along with that. And so while I was in Bali, I was doing a meditation and I got this download that was like, you need to change the industry from the inside out. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's going to be through this heart-centered planning series. And I was like, okay, are you going to give me more? But nothing else really came. And so I, of course, journaled about it while I was done with my meditation, and I kept on like mulling over it while I was in my, on my travels. And I was with a good friend of mine, Whitney, who owns a healing collective in San Diego. And she came from a corporate background and created her healing collective because of a calling. And I was just like, hey, what do you think about this? And so we just kind of started, sharing ideas on it. And then I came back to my team and I was like, hey guys, I got this. I need to create it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's going to, come out, But we ended up putting together an 8-piece guide series that is actually based on the chakra system. Although I don't really talk about that in there because a lot of the people that were, in the insurance and financial space, they're not exactly like super spiritual.
Woo-woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to find them though. And that's the cool
Oh,
thing.
I bet you are.
Yeah. And it's like they've all been in hiding. And I'm starting to uncover them and being like, it's cool. Like totally go and, raise your flag. Like anyway,
Yes.
so come out and let's be this and not be afraid to be this, because this is what the world needs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we built this 8-piece series, and I was like, this is amazing. And it actually launched on February 2020, Valentine's Day, which was not planned, but what better time for it to launch, right? And not only a month later, we got our first stay-at-home order. And so I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, people are being forced to go inside, and now they're going to have time to do some deep inner work. And so what we were talking about and what we're talking about in the series is all about 8 principles. So we have the importance of being grounded, nourishing your personal power, speaking your truth, living your vision, leading from the heart, or actually knowing your vision, and then living your purpose, building community. And I know there's one missing in there because I only counted 7, but whatever. We've got them on the website, and everybody will get a link to them. And then I realized, okay, we've got these guides and we're promoting them, but I'm not getting enough traction. So I decided to start a webinar series, and I have been, scouring the financial and insurance services space to find people that are heart-centered, that live these different principles. And then I'm talking to them about these principles, about how they've been able to incorporate it into their businesses, and or how they're helping people in the industry incorporate these things. I've found some incredible speakers, and we've expanded on these topics. And I'm actually in season 2 of the series because I realize the topics are so broad, and there are so many people out there doing different things, and they all have their own perspective on the topic, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when you're talking about the importance of being grounded, there's so much about being grounded. And inside each of the guides, we talk about different ways to incorporate that principle, whether it's like a physical thing you're doing, or it is something you're doing in your meditations. And we also talk about like how to identify if you're not doing this, right? Like if you're not grounded, more than likely you can't stay present. Your mind is, bouncing around all over the place. You can't, focus on things. You don't sleep well at night. There's a lot of different ways to tell if you're out of balance in that particular area. And each of the principles build on each other, and the end goal is about building community. And so if you incorporate these 8 principles into your life and really, really dig in and do your deep inner work and become your ideal client, your energy that you're putting out is attracting like energy, right? And so that's how you're attracting your ideal client, because you are doing the work. You are embodying exactly what it is that you want. And also, another point I wanted to make is it's not all about the money. And I've said this multiple times, but it's not. It's literally that money will come if you are doing what it is that you feel driven and your purpose to be, right? And that you have passion for it. And so it's like having faith that whatever it is that you are supposed to be doing on this planet to make it a better place to be, that everything's going to work out. Like it's all good, So.
Yeah, and now you're speaking my language, because that's really all about like identifying your unique value, right? Which, your value is connected to your gifts and your passion, and when you have the courage to own that into that and put that out there into the world, then you're going to attract the right people to you, right? But then also you're going to be able to be fulfilled in your work, but you're going to be able to make the biggest impact. Yes. And, oh, by the way, generate a substantial income in the process. Yes. So but yeah, I mean, it really is, first, identifying what that looks like for you. And I know Jen is a part of your process, but you were talking about being grounded. I'd like to dig a little bit deeper there. Ha!
Yeah.
Dig a little deeper into
Yeah.
the roots, grounded, get it?
Yes.
No, so I think that's really important because I think we're always just like, eye on the goal, just keep going, 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 going. And we're just kind of out there and we're not really grounded or, being present in the moment. We're missing out on opportunities around us that might be, taking us maybe in a different path, but we're not present enough to see it. So I would like to find out, first of all, with the grounding, why that is important, but then maybe do you have any best practices to help yourself kind of get grounded in the moment, or like some meditation or something that you use daily to kind of
Yeah.
get yourself grounded?
Yeah. So being grounded to me is being able to be present in the moment and having
Hmm.
focus on whatever it is that I'm doing, right?
Hmm.
And like specifically for the agents and advisors that I work with, I recommend to them before going into client meetings to do a little breath work and meditation. So, just sit there quietly, whether it's in your car, your office, wherever you're at. Take a few minutes and do some box breathing, which is like 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out, hold for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a great way to like calm your nervous system. And then even a 5 minute meditation. And you can do a silent meditation or find a guided meditation. I love
Hmm.
Insight Timer. Insight Timer has meditations for everything. And literally every single person that I work with that has incorporated meditation into their practice before their meetings, they have better meetings with their clients. Their
Hmm.
revenue has gone up. Their lives in general, like their home lives with their spouses and their kids, have gotten better because their communication is better, because they don't, they take time to listen to what's happening,
Hmm.
and then they take time to answer, and like things are not just like angry and just it's everything's better because of it. um
Yes.
and then like my daily practice, I try to every day go out. I've got a meditation yoga studio in the back of my property that we call That's What She Shed. And
Awesome. I
yeah.
need to see that,
Oh
Stephanie.
yes, I would love for you to come over and see it. We'll plan something. It's
Okay, cool.
it's so fun. I built it during the pandemic to give me a space outside of the house that I can go and do my practices and just do my magic. And
Hmm.
my property is almost a half an acre, so there's quite a bit of space between where I walk to. And I always walk with no shoes on. So I'm grounding myself as I'm
Yeah.
going to that space because I'm walking on the earth. I'm connecting with like, with nature, with Mother Gaia. Like I am like becoming part of this before I go into my space.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it's incredible. And so I've got like my diffuser, so I put on my, my oil, whatever I'd like to have that scent be in there that day. And depending on what I'm trying to do, I have lots of different ways to meditate. I can do it in silence, I can do it as a guided meditation. I've got this really cool book that's like a chakra healing book.
Hmm.
And inside that, and I wish I could think of the author, but I can't right now. Inside that, it gives you a like a crystal that will help balance that chakra. It'll give you a oil that'll help balance it, and it'll give you yoga poses. Yeah. So I do like 10 minutes of these different yoga poses. And then I put on my oil and I put my, crystal wherever that chakra is. And then I do, 10, 15, 20-minute meditation. And so, I do right now, I actually just started over. So I do like a week of each one to try to get them all like in balance.
Yeah.
So,
That
yeah.
is so cool. All right, so maybe you could look up the book and the author and then pop it in
Yeah,
the comments
I will.
in the
Yeah.
Facebook group for those
Yeah.
who want to check it out, because that sounds really neat. I want to know about
Yeah.
it.
It's really awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you're saying here is it's really all about being intentional, right? And not just like getting after the day and go, go, go. And I think a lot of us are, into that mode where we're just kind of attacking the day and not really taking time to be centered and, like you said, grounded and really getting clear and focused on what we want, and then kind of listening, being present in the moment to be guided
Yeah,
on what that
absolutely.
looks like. And I love what you were saying about making sure before you go into a meeting, or for a lot of people, that speaking can be a scary
Yeah.
thing, right? But like if you take time to really get centered and focused, and I call it relaxed confidence, like just
Mm,
thinking about, like, getting to that present moment, being focused, and then just kind of letting everything go. So it's like you're relaxed, and then you're confident in knowing that you have everything you need to be successful during that, sales call, or during your presentation, or whatever it be. But
yeah.
that feeling, or that calm, faith-based sense of certainty is not going to come unless, right? So I love what you're teaching here. So the 8 principles, I think that's so powerful to have some sort of method or formula that you can mint. And I know we have a special surprise for everybody. End of today's training. So we will let you know how you can get access to the 8 principles. But you talked about building community, and we also talked about, being your ideal client. And really surrounding yourself. There was a time where you were operating your business and interacting with people who were not necessarily your people, and that could lead to some frustration and overwhelm, and
Yes.
even anger, right, when you're around people who are not in alignment with your values, or in alignment with your vision or your goals. And the truth is, we really do have the power to create an environment in which we could flourish and thrive. And that means surrounding ourselves with like-minded people. So can you share in your perspective, why building a community is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everything thrives in community, right? I mean, community is everything. So,
Mhm.
as far as I'm concerned, I think that some people that are in the sales, whatever kind of sales you're doing, they think that they just need to like throw out this big net and like collect all these people, right? And they're going to
Yeah.
do business and it's going to be great. Well, in my experience doing that, I've attracted a lot of people that really did not see things the way that I did or do,
Mhm.
and did not treat me the way that I deserve to be treated. And I allowed it because I was making so much money. But it was causing me, anxiety. It was causing me, headaches, and I physically felt sick sometimes when I would see their numbers come up on my
Ah,
phone, and I'm just like, I'm making a lot of money off of them, so I'm going to just go ahead and deal with it and just not say anything, right? And this
yep.
went on for some time, and I finally got to the point where I was like, I'm just going to cut all these people out, and did it impact me significantly in my revenue? Yes, it did. But that's okay, because I was able to then focus the energy that I was really losing, right? Because that takes a lot of energy. It takes
Yep.
a lot of energy to feel that way. And when your body is out of whack and out of alignment, the energy that it takes to try to rebalance is so difficult. And so when I finally decided that, like, hey, I need to like go in this direction and these are the kind of people I want to be working with, then I started focusing on finding those people and building my community. And I realized that the community that you build is going to not only feed your life, but it is going to feed your business, and it's going to be an ecosystem that really is going to help you flourish and thrive. And when
Yes.
people really love working with you and they care about you, they're going to give you more referrals. So you're going to be able to generate a significantly higher amount of business from the people that really respect you and honor you and what you do and don't take advantage of you. Like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, so community is huge. It's like it's everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I agree. I agree. And yeah, community in all aspects of your life. So like you can have your community of, potential customers, right?
Yeah.
Which, in that case, getting really, really crystal clear as to who you want to work with. And for you, it kind of took realizing who you didn't want to work with, and then start getting clear on like, okay, I don't want to work with these kinds of people. Who do I want to work with? And really taking the time to get clear on what that looks like for you, and not just women who are 30 to 50 years old and are educated, but really, really getting clear as to like what are their values and what are their characteristics, and so that could be a really fun process. Thinking, making your list, like your dream
Yeah.
list. How many of you have actually made a list of like who your ideal soulmate would be? Have you ever done that,
Oh yeah.
Stephanie?
Oh, absolutely. For sure.
So it's the same thing, like
Yeah.
putting that list together. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. It takes like having maybe that negative experience to be like, oh, don't want that. Like, what's the opposite of that? Let's add that to the list. And
Yeah.
it will
Yeah.
grow and evolve, right? But really being crystal clear on it will help you to be able to attract it, right? So there's one thing we're looking for in an ideal client, but then also too, I know you're big into this, and we actually talked about how important it is to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, just in terms
Yes.
of friends or business colleagues, or partnerships for collaboration in business. I mean, how fun is it, like doing what we're doing right now, like
Yeah.
hanging out with someone who's super cool and like-minded and driven and on a similar mission, to be able to get to come together and share our expertise together to make a bigger impact. And when you're clear as to who you want to surround yourself with, you can do some cool collaboration, cool things that will add such meaning and fulfillment in your life.
I agree. Yeah, and co-creation with people that are, and I like to say like souled, right?
Oh,
So, yeah. Yeah, because that's our heart, right? And when we talk about being like-minded, we're talking about the brain, and like that's more of like the analytical, like, but you get it. Like
yeah, but I
I
love that. I'm gonna have to steal that one from you or borrow it. We'll
that.
share
Yes. Yes.
it. like souls,
Yeah.
like
Like
souls.
soul.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's so powerful. Yeah, and it's so true. And I mean, I think together we're stronger, right? So if we
Yeah.
can join forces together, there's
Mhm.
so much we could do in terms of impacting the world for the good. And I mean,
Absolutely.
that's one of the reasons why I started Passionista Nation, to
Yeah.
bring these incredible women together, all of you that are on a similar journey, that are passion and purpose driven, that have amazing gifts that they want to be of service with, and share with the world. And so, yeah, that community piece is so huge. So, yeah, Stephanie, can you share? I kind of alluded to the fact that you have a special gift for us in you sharing the 8 principles. So, can you tell us a little bit about how our viewers can take of that, and what that the heart centered planning series looks like,
Yeah. So on our website, at the Annuity
which I
Consulting
just popped up there for y'all.
Service, there's a tab, Heart Centered Planning. The 8 guides are going to be there, and they're downloadable PDFs. They're anywhere from like 8 to 12 pages. And each of these guides I wrote from my personal experience with this
Nice.
particular principle. And then of course I've got my marketing director and like content people that went in and massaged it and, you know, made it a little bit more fun and digestible. But what's cool about it is this series is created for people in the financial and insurance space, but it literally can apply to anybody in any industry doing anything, right? So there are things in there that have examples of how to apply it to your practice if you have an insurance or financial practice. But all of the things, like I said, when it talks about like breath work and meditation
Mm-hmm.
and grounding, you know, all of that can be applied to anybody. And then in the very back of every guide is a list of resources. So I've selected like documentaries, books, blogs, like all kinds of information that relates to that topic.
Cool.
And yeah, and then next to each of the guides that are downloadable, there is a link to the webinar series. So first and second season, we're halfway through the second season now. But you to our YouTube channel so you can, you know, view any of what we've put out there. And every speaker also offers some kind of free gift as well. So if you listen to the whole webinar, you
Mhm.
will have access to whatever their free gift is. So it's very cool.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
generous. Thank you so much, Stephanie. So here's the link. I'm also going to pop it in the description in the Facebook group so it's clickable.
Yes.
But yeah, that's awesome. Awesome information. And then how else can people connect with you, Stephanie, aside from
Yeah.
accessing your free offer?
Yeah, so they can connect with us on social media at the Annuity Consultants, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. We don't do a ton on Twitter, but the other ones were pretty active. So
Me neither.
yeah. It's just like
Some
checking.
people are still rocking it out on Twitter.
Yeah,
I never really
I
got
never
into
got
it
it.
that much, but
No. Mm-mm.
there's so many social media platforms. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you've got to really kind of pick which ones are the
Yeah.
ones that your peeps hang out on, right?
Right. Exactly.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise today, sharing your story. I mean, for me, I mean, what you're sharing, I think, is applicable to any industry as long as, especially if you're in the service industry,
Yes.
you know, it's because you're working with people. I mean, and you know, you have to be in the right frame, you have to be centered,
Yeah.
you know, in order to have that connection and establish that relationship and, you know, to really, I think, be in alignment with your purpose, right? So so much of it is connected to that heart that you talked about and being heart centered. I absolutely love what you're all about. So, do you have any final thoughts for our viewers today that you want to leave them with?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing that maybe I didn't really touch on is the fact that, you know, it's all about, and maybe it did come out in the session, but it's all about doing your own work and taking care of yourself and filling yourself up. You know, like make you the priority. It's not selfish. Like it is definitely not selfish to make you the priority to take care of your body and your mind and your soul, because when you're full, then you can be in service of others. So just
I love
always know. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the ladies watching today are also, you know, married with children,
Yeah.
and often, you know, they have that mom guilt, like, oh
Yes.
gosh, if I'm running my business and taking time to meditate and do all of these things, like, there's not
Hmm.
enough time for the family. But
Yeah.
trust me, it's going to be much if you are filling your cup and nourishing your soul. Because then you're going to be able to have more energy. And,
Hmm.
you know, also kind of being able to tap in. For me, it's all about that ease, flow, and grace that we
Yes.
all have access to. But if
Yes.
you're forcing and pushing and, you know, attacking the day and like, I got to get out there and, you know, run my business and it's not heart-centered and it's more, ego-driven and goal-oriented, which, I mean, it's great to have goals, but, you
Yes,
have to make sure that you are centering yourself first and really getting connected to what you truly want and who you're being in the process. Um, but yeah, you're not going to be able to do that unless you take that time for yourself to fill your cup, to get centered, nourish your soul. I think it's so important. And if you're not doing that, you're just going to get depleted. And you
totally.
shared your story of like, um, going to some negative things, people are, becoming addicted to, whatever it is to kind of, get them through. But if you take that time for yourself, you can really have a healthy
For sure.
foundation.
Yeah. One other thing I do want to share with that,
Yes, please.
because we mentioned that, is there is a book Brene Brown put out, Daring Greatly. Like
Yes.
that would be an amazing book for any of the audience members to read if they want to learn about,
Yeah.
filling yourself up and taking care of
Yes.
yourself.
I
Because she
love
comes
Brene
from,
Brown.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
awesome.
she's
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you for that.
So,
That's a great
yeah,
daring greatly, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she has a couple. She also talks a lot about being vulnerable, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is really important to just kind of get real with yourself and
Mm-hmm.
love it. Well,
Yeah.
Stefan, we could definitely talk all day long about this stuff. And I'm just so grateful to first have met you, but also for you taking the time today to be of service and share your gifts with everybody. And please take advantage of Stephanie's incredible free gift offer with her heart-centered planning series. So many, great tips and strategies that you can use to really nourish yourself and fill your cup. And sounds like tremendous amount of resources for you to be able to do it. Because I think it's about finding what works for you and creating
Yes.
your own system,
Totally.
something that you can commit to every
Mm-hmm.
day. And so it's not going to look exactly like my daily ritual or Stephanie's daily ritual, but take what feels right for you and put together some sort of daily ritual for yourself that will allow you to connect with yourself and really be able to be present and clear on your intentions for the day, because that will allow us to live lives of purpose. So thank you again, Stephanie. Thank you everyone for joining in. And if you are watching live, please let us know, what your ahas and breakthroughs and takeaways were from today's training. And if you're watching replay, we would also love to hear from you. Stephanie, is it cool if you jump in and check the comments later today and respond? And then you can also share that book you were talking about with the chakras and all that cool stuff. And yes, so we would love to hear from you and your takeaways from today's training. And until next time, be courageous, take inspired action, and go out there and share your gifts with the world. Bye, everybody. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you.